There's a kind of knowing that doesn't come with an explanation. You feel it in your gut. It's not a thought you worked out. It's not a pros and cons list. It just arrives, fully formed, and somewhere underneath your ribs, you already know it's true. And then comes the real test. What do you do with it? I want to tell you about a time I felt one of those, and I didn't argue. A few years back, I was living in my own place in Northern Virginia. I was making excellent money. From the outside, things looked fine. I had a few cars. I could do whatever I wanted to do. Felt really good too. But things weren't so good. I was in a relationship that had turned physical. Now, I'm not going to walk you through all of it. I'll just say it was the kind of situation a man knows he has to get out of and still finds 100 reasons to stay. But one day, a knowing came. It hit me in my stomach. Urgent, not panic, but clarity. It felt like a logical next step, except I hadn't done any of the logic. I just heard it. Leave. And something in me said, okay. That was it. No negotiation, no 2-week plan, no waiting until it made financial sense. I think about how Neville Goddard described it. Once you hand a command to your subconscious, it accepts it, and then it leads. You just fall in line behind it. That's what this was. I'd been given the command, or I finally given it to myself, and now my only job was to move. So I moved. I put everything I owned on OfferUp. Everything. Then I went to the leasing office for the apartment I recently signed for, and I told them the truth, the real truth about my situation. I expected a fight, fees, penalties, the whole thing. Instead, they let me out of the lease with absolutely no fee. They even covered for me with the corporate side, the leadership organization that managed it. I told the truth, and the door just opened. That's the part I want you to hear. When I stopped negotiating with the nudge and started obeying it, things I expected to be hard became easy. Then came the piece I could have never planned. A woman messaged me about a couch I had listed. I'll call her Diane. She came to look at it, and we got to talking. She asked me what was going on, and I felt that same pull again, the one that said, tell the truth. So I did. I told this stranger where I actually was in my life, detail for detail. She looked at me and said, I'll buy everything, and you can come and stay with me. I want you to sit with how strange that is. A stranger buying a couch who hears the truth and opens her home. Diane and her family took me in. I ended up living with them for about a year. They showed me real love and care at a time when I almost had nothing to offer in return. I didn't earn that with a plan. I earned it by following a gut feeling and telling the truth when it would have been easier to perform. Here's what I learned. The nudge doesn't explain itself. It's not going to give you a business case. It's not going to wait for the timing to be perfect. It just tells you the next step once in your gut and then it watches to see if you trust it. Most men negotiate. They hear the nudge and they answer it with how. How will I afford it? Where will I go? What if I'm wrong? And the how talks them right out of the knowing. Now, I'm not telling you this to be reckless. I'm telling you there's a difference between a reckless impulse and a deep, quiet knowing. And you can feel which is which if you get honest. The knowing doesn't come with adrenaline. It comes with clarity. It feels less like a leap and more like a logical next step you didn't think your way to. When you get one of those, your job isn't to understand it. Your job is to fall in line behind it. So here's what I want you to sit with for the rest of your drive. Is there a nudge you've been negotiating with? Something you've already heard, already know, and you've been answering it with how instead of okay. You don't have to act on it this second. Just stop pretending you didn't hear it. I'll see you in the next one.